Hello, gentlemen, lady. How's everybody doing this evening?
We're doing fine, champ. You ready for next week?
Ready? Yeah. I'm ready.
Oh man, what's going on? Happy day. Looking at another episode of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, man. I am joined by my co-host. I got E Digger up in my upper that corner right there. Then below E, I have Ken. I got Kept right below me. So we want to welcome you guys aboard another episode of the Knucklehead Chronicles. Now, of course, like we say every single time you guys see us on Sundays, that you can go and visit the website at the knuckleheadchroniclespodcast.com. Check out any past shows and all that good stuff. We also broadcasting live on WLEO 26.7 on your internet radio dial, man. Make sure that you guys are have downloaded the app. If you have not yet, I don't know what you're missing, man. Y'all playing games with this app.
That app runs real smooth. Whoever's
it does.
You're a genius. Whoever created it runs smooth.
Y'all playing games. Y'all need to go ahead and download.
You can't even say it with the TH. You gotta say smooth. It's with the VE. Smooth.
Smooth. Yeah. Smooth over, buddy. Smooth over.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna get the show started. We have a great topic for you guys today. We're gonna talk about how do we flow, or how do we deal with our personal storms when we're going through things? But we're going to get into that in a little bit. First, before we do all that, E, how was your week thus far, my brother? I know you right now you're having a little bit of technical issues. It's okay.
Ever since I got this new anywho, I'm relaxing. 3 days off. I'm enjoying it. Got to go back to work tomorrow.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
man. I ain't looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's a beat right there.
It's gonna be a long week.
Yeah,
long week.
It's okay though. You're gonna make it through. You're gonna persevere. You're gonna push through like you normally do.
People need to leave me alone. That's all I'm saying.
I can tell you this right here though. If you guys want a good laugh, if you don't follow E Digger on Facebook at all, if you want a good laugh though, go ahead and follow that page. He be chronicling work, man. He was like, man, this some bull crap right here. So y'all make sure y'all follow him on Facebook if you haven't yet. Quinn, how was your week, bro?
My week was kind of rough, but I had some little family issues going on. But hey, we shook back from that, and we good. I started finally got into my new position on my job real good, and I got my previous co-workers now that work under me kind of jealous.
Because that always happens. It's all that situation. You gotta, whenever you get say you at the same level as your co-workers and you get a position right above them, now they get to smell it. Every time you walk around them, they got this look like they smell shit all the time.
Nah, so this is what it is, because we work remotely. They was like, so what you doing now? And I was just like, I basically do accounting. So how many calls do you get a day? Probably about 2, maybe 3. And then we on the Zoom meeting, and you just looking at their faces. Seriously, bro, you went from getting 50 calls a day to just maybe 2 or 3.
That's a good thing.
I'm like, yeah. This guy, one of my partners named Jeremy, he was just like, and why the hell they choose you to do this position? I said because you know what I'm saying, I was the leader, I was on the top, I was the MVP, I was Jordan, I was the 6-time MVP with no losses in the finals. You know what I'm saying? I was the GOAT of this team.
Say it with your chest.
I was the GOAT of this team. And so they were just like, I said, look at the metrics. We get metrics every week. You see why they chose me.
Yeah.
And so it went from there, and they was just like, I said, look, y'all still reaching out to me. I'm still helping y'all. Ain't nothing changed. I'm still the same. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? At first, everybody was trying to, I think they were just playing though. Getting their little jabs in, but you know how that go.
Exactly. Kev, how was your week, bro?
My week is looking great. I'm looking at my woman over here just eating some nachos, spilling cheese all over herself. But anyway,
Kev, this is a PG show, bro. Before you get going and get all
look, the nachos look good, man. I'm keeping it PG, all right. The nachos, okay.
You know what? Yeah, PG. Yeah. Do that for me,
man. But, you could have got a wife. You could have said your wife looked good. That's PG.
Now he wasn't gonna say it like that though, Quinn. He wasn't gonna say. He already had his lips fixed to say something crazy. Already, he was like, he biting his lip there. He biting his lip. He going.
Wait till I get old later. I'm gonna have her parading around the house when we do the show.
Bucky.
Okay.
No, not Bucky. Y'all like that privilege. But I'm gonna get her to put her nice tights on and come and pick something up from behind me.
You know what?
No, but my week is actually it's pretty decent, man. I'm looking to link up with some family members. Victoria being one of them. This weekend I'm on barbecue.
12-year-old doctor. Hey, girl.
I'm a barbecue. And it's gonna be a good week. I'm looking forward to this weekend. Work is just long.
Yeah.
Like somebody. It's like a person, like a girl with no butt at all, just long for no reason.
Long back.
Exactly. So. But other than
the same front and backwards.
Right. Other than that, I'm
ain't
blessed.
No booty do there.
One quick factor though, me and my wife, we are now starting the process. I'll go ahead and say it. I know she's gonna choke me after this, but we are starting the process for a house. Get it into a loan investor and a realtor. We're starting from ground zero. Possibly it may be a new build, could be a house. If we do get a house,
that's bad.
It'll be maybe a house that's maybe for 5 to 7 years old. But I want to go for a new build. That's what I like.
Go new. You're gonna get more equity out of that new house than you would.
Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about inspections and all of that stuff, codes and trying to pull it up. But what I'm going to tell you to do is do your research and also look online for housing loans, because there are some programs for first-time home buyers that the government provides. And if you're in the right area, you can get a FDA loan.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. It's called the FDHA loan or FHA. One of the two. And then
first time you get the FHA loan, and you can get assistance with that, and you're gonna get a tax credit. And then also make sure, depending on what you guys' credit score is together, you guys can get possibly try to get the lowest interest rate that you can.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So shop around.
That's what our realtor's gonna do. I mean, but that's the news. I'm gonna need y'all's blessing, because this is gonna be stressful as double hockey stick.
At least you got a partner. When I go buy my house next year, man, when I get my house built, it's gonna be me solo dolo.
It's all good. It's all good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this. But before we get into the meat and potatoes, though, I want to shout out everybody who's listening, everybody who has listened, downloaded, subscribed, all that to the website and the radio station, downloaded the app. Appreciate y'all for real. But
hold on, wait, one quick. I mean, because we always say, "How was our week? How was your week?" Ain't nobody asking you how was your week.
Hey Terry, how was your week, bro?
How was your week, brother?
Hey Terry, so how was your week?
Crap.
Pass. There you go.
Let me tell you. Okay, so my week is. So you guys know that I changed not careers but
location
employment, and so today was my first day.
How was it?
It was great. Actually, it was great.
Most first days are.
Yeah, I'm selling a brand. I'm selling a brand
for ease.
I'm selling a brand of vehicle that I know well because I drive 2 of them. So it's, it's pretty fun. I mean, the first day, like you said, Quinn, it is, it's always peaches and cream on the first day. Give it a week and see how it looks after that.
Right.
Probably had a nice little desk set up for you. Probably had some little trinkets. Welcome to the team.
Did they put rose petals down the aisle for you?
No, my name is not Prince Akeem, brother. It's all good though. I wish they would.
Your penis is clean.
We're gonna clean up these roses. No, it wasn't like that. But
yes,
I do.
Today is my birthday.
I might have a couple people from my old dealership to chime in or listen to the podcast, and I want to shout them out. And I appreciate everything you've done for me. And Tuesday when I left, what I'm saying, it was kind of heart wrenching for me because I really didn't want to leave, but the way finances are set up, you kind of had to, I kind of had to do what I had to do, and getting the wrath of Satan from the wife. You got to go ahead and take care of that. But anyways, let's get to the meat and potatoes. Before we do that, let's go take a small station break real quick. We'll be right back.
That's right. Tune in to WLEO 26.7 online radio for all the newest music, hip hop, and R&B from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Jazz and gospel, as well as new shows and local and national DJs on the ones and twos, getting you ready for the work week ahead, that party vibe, or relaxing at home. All on Baltimore's newest online radio station, WLEO 26.7 online radio. Worldwide listening entertainment online.
All right, welcome back, man. We are back. I want to give a disclaimer real quick that if one of my kids come up missing, I want you guys to know why. Because every time I buy some dang on headphones, they always get into them, and I got a freaking short in my ear, and I can't stand listening to this show or my voice in one ear. I can't stand it. But they always messing with my stuff.
Put a lock on
insurance on them,
man. Keep it on lock.
You got insurance?
Man, you say like $18.
I'm saying I'm talking about your kids.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you cool?
Yeah, I got kids. All right. So
yeah, I get it.
I got kids.
I got it. All right. So we're gonna get into the topic. The topic today is how to keep calm or how to be calm in your storm. Now, as adults and grown men, we've gone through many different things in our life that we had to kind of weather through, whether it was being unemployed or being without a place or going through a relationship or whatever it is. We've all at one point or another have gone through some storm. Maybe some of us are still going through storms. And this is what this show today is about. It's for people that are currently going through storms and not really knowing how to get through the storm. Now, I'm going to start with E. E, I know, you're a man of a certain age, as am I. We've gone through a lot of storms in our life. Right. How did you? What's the question here? The question I want to answer it correctly. Ask it correctly so it won't sound stupid. How did you weather your storms for the most part? Because everything happens in different phases. Because when we was younger and we dealt with stuff, we handled it one way. Once we became grown and started doing it the man way, we handle it differently. So once you became a man, mm-hmm. and you walked into your first tornado, mm-hmm. how'd you handle it? What'd you do?
I try not to think about it, or I didn't put any more thought into it. So okay. The situation happened. Of course, you thinking of ways that you can escape it. Mm-hmm. But the more you think about it, yes, that's added stress on you.
Okay.
And you're right. When you little, I ain't worried about it.
It's a whole
different beast when you grow up, because now you have to face it. Yeah. And I'm still like that. I try not to let it control me, and I try to forget it or not talk about it. That's the thing. Like when people bring it up, I'll say I don't want to talk about it, because the more I talk about it, the more upset I get. And we all know being upset causes stress. So I'm gonna tackle it.
Yeah.
The way how I'm gonna tackle it. But in the long run, I'm not thinking about it. It's there.
Yeah.
I know it's there.
Okay.
But
let me pick it back on let me pick it back on something you just said. You said that you don't want to talk about it, or you don't, because it upsets you.
Right.
Do you think, or do you see talking about it? Do you see that as a level of cleansing for you? It like for me, it was a level of cleansing for me. The more I talk about my story, I mean, and you guys know my story, it's not cleansing for you.
No, because for me, it's like, well, no, I take that back. It all depends on what it is. If I need to talk about, if I feel the need to talk about it, and I know that it won't upset me,
right,
I'll talk about it. Right. But if it's a situation that is going to upset me, I'm not going to talk about it. And we all got these people. We all got the what happened. I don't want to talk about it right now. Trust me, because the more I talk about it, the more upset I'll get, and the more stress.
Yeah,
and I, for one, right now, I can't deal with stress. So the way how I handle it is pushing the situation far apart away from me as possible.
Okay.
There, I know I have to handle it. I'm going to get to it. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Mm-hmm. My son, when he was going to school, and his little chronicles on school and cutting school, and that was stressful. And his mom was like calling me like, "Oh my God, like can you talk to him? Like, are we in this together?"
Right.
No. And that was stressful. So the way how I handle that is, have your fun, go right ahead. But best believe when I get enough courage, when I get enough strength, I'm going to handle it, and I'm going to beat the crap out of you. You know what I'm saying? So that is my stress reliever on that situation, was beating the crap out of him.
Right.
Believe it or not.
Right.
But when it was going on, I didn't want to talk about it, because the more I talk about it, the more upset I'll be. And the more upset I'll be, I'm taking it out on his ass. So
right. Okay. So
not to be around you when you
it's okay. So quick question to you, man. I mean, once you became a man and you started dealing with that first storm, man, how'd you handle it?
So you guys know my story. I told you everything I've been through. Mm. And the way I used to handle things is I used to drink my way out of things.
I did that. Yeah.
But like recently I fell into that mode, and I had to shake out of it for about 2 weeks. I was just feeling depressed and down and out, and felt like I couldn't talk to nobody about it. So I called my boy Jack Daniels, and he came to the rescue.
Yeah.
But for the most part, over the past maybe 3 or 4 years, as far as dealing with stress, I really just started getting into meditation, trying not to think about it, putting in my mind, I can only control what I can control. I can't control other people or their actions or thoughts. And, sometimes you run into them situations. I'm like like I don't want to talk about it, but sometimes you run into them situations where you out and about and you see this person or you see something and it reminds you of that. And the first thing is right back on your mind. Once you think you're in a good place, it's right back on your mind. Yeah. And then you have to go through that whole process again. Or somebody keep bringing the subject up and you trying to change the subject, but they always circle around back to it.
Yeah.
So you like,
yeah, I feel and men really struggle with that. We really struggle with that. We really do.
But for the most part, I got I got my little altar I made. I'll light my incense, and I got my little Florida water and all that type of stuff, man. And
you say Florida water?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's rich folks talk.
Okay. Yeah, I never heard that one. So.
Man, that stuff $11 a bottle. But
it better be bringing the Holy Ghost with it.
I'm just saying.
But I mean, you know, I'm doing what I got to do to maintain my peace.
Yeah. There you go.
So you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like living alone sucks, but it has its blessings.
Right.
When you live alone, you're stuck with your thoughts.
Yep.
But when you're trying to escape your thoughts, you also got that peace to do that. So,
right.
I mean, that's how I handle my stuff. I just try to meditate and pray my way out of the situations. Like, God, please take this out of my mind. Please take this out of my soul before I hurt somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't go to jail, y'all. First of all, I'm too pretty. Second of all,
he said, "Lord,
I'm gonna get more time because I'm probably gonna kill somebody when I get in there.
Kill nobody, man.
Third of all,
I like you, and I won't
you.
And you dead.
So, Kev, what about you, man?
What made me? I mean, repeat that again. What made
once you became a man and you entered that first storm, when you first had that first emotional thing that kind of tore you up, how did you handle it?
I didn't, and I failed epically. As y'all know, and in the previous podcast, if you followed, you know, I give examples of my life, and I'll give you an example of one of my failures. My dad passed away, 2008, and at the time I was married to my kid's mother, and I let everything get to me. By the time I found I was able to solve the problem. It was too late. But better than late than never, right? But the problem is one of the issues is my marriage was with my ex was a little forced, in the way that I felt, and everything was bad timing. Everything was it just didn't feel right. I never really got comfortable. We were young. But we thought us having kids, we were high school sweethearts, we're supposed to get married and blah 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 blah. The typical high school sweethearts deal, right? We're gonna be together forever. Wrong, failed. But
stop right there. See, that failure wasn't on you though, was it?
It was. I had something to do with it, which is why I'm able to confess my part in my failure. But one of the things that one of the portions of my failures was during that time when my dad passed away. I didn't know. I never learned at that time how to deal with something because I never had anybody in my immediate family pass away like that.
Right.
So when it happened, when my dad passed away, and I'll be honest, my dad was not that guy. He was not the dad of all dads. He was a dad that he was a great granddad, but not really a good father. You know what I mean? But it still hurt because my kids, him being a really good grandfather, my kids' grandfather was taken, and that's what really hurt me the most. Me and my dad were reconciling, and we're getting this relationship back, to a bond and everything. And when he passed, I had some stuff I wanted to get off my chest too, but I never got a chance to.
Yeah.
But it all hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
I let it pile up on my chest. I kept everything inside. I bottled it up. And I was the type when I was young, when I grew up, I was told, just like in the last podcast, I told y'all, I was taught, you don't cry. You don't let anything out. You hold it. You talk yourself or walk yourself through it and get through the storm. Well, that was bad. That was a terrible idea. I don't know who came up with that idea, but that was terrible for me. So when it did happen, I blew up, and I blew up at the wrong people.
Right.
It would be at my kids at the time when they were little. It would be at my ex-wife at the time when we were married. It would be at my mom. It would be at Pete. It would be at my brother Pete. And I scorched some relationships. I burned some bridges that some I really don't give a damn about. Let's just be honest. But some I said some things that I shouldn't have.
Okay.
So to answer that question, I really didn't. I failed. I failed epically.
Okay.
And it actually feels good to say this.
Okay.
It's kind of like a confession right now.
Okay.
So what do you do now
Okay.
to handle those situations?
That's the right.
Getting to that, let's say now that I'm mature, and if I had to go back and do this, I would do it because I think it would have worked. Now, what I did, and it started when I went to go visit my dad's grave 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
After he passed away, I visited my dad's grave, and I laid and I talked to him. Me and my brother, we had, I talked to him at his grave, and I had this whole heart to heart, and I let it all out. And at that exact moment, I let go of my grudges. I let go of every single grudge. If you wronged me, I didn't care anymore. If you harmed me, I didn't care anymore. So now I'm on a sense of those of you that deserve forgiveness, you get your forgiveness. Those of you that get their forgiveness, half of you that deserve the second chance, you get your second chance. But right now it's more, and I'm glad I didn't lean towards alcohol, because if I would have been a horrible alcoholic, let's just say that. I'd be terrible.
I was a bad drunk too.
But I lean towards now, I lean towards sports, I lean towards mentoring people. That helps me for some reason. It helps me to help people feel better. You know what I mean? So when I go out and coach my baseball team, I literally block everything.
Right.
Everything becomes second nature to me. And I also put more into my work ethic. My work, I go to work, I leave, I use work to block everything out. So now I have a block. I have tunnel vision now when I'm at work, or I'm mentoring, or I'm coaching.
Mm-hmm.
It helps me just block it all out. Now when I need to deal with it, I'll deal with it. I'll talk it out, or I'll cry it out. I'll talk to myself and get it out. But I really don't let things like this bother me anymore.
Right. Okay. So this is okay. So I'm listening to you guys, and you guys are telling me your situations and all that good stuff. I got a special guest that wants to come in and say, "Hey, I guess."
Hey, that's the man right there, little man. What's up, little man?
Hey, your phone's over there. No, your phone's over there. Over there.
You got a haircut.
He look clean too.
That's all we couldn't say. Why you got phone? Your phone right there. Get your phone. Okay, you're not happy about that. Boy, it's real life right here, baby.
Hey.
Okay. You want your phone? You know what? You can not throw that phone. Go over there. Oh Lord. Okay. Because the kids are supposed to be watching them downstairs, and they're not, because he's up here. Anyways. Okay, well, give me. All right, I'm back. Had to take a pause for the calls. I'm telling you. All right, so this is what I want to discuss on the other side of the break, right? Because would I listen to you guys say, well, I don't deal with it. I don't talk about it. I talk about it when I have to, and all of that. The first question I'm going to ask after the break is, once you went through your stuff, did you forgive yourself? How long did it take you to forgive yourself? And that's the first thing. The second thing, I'm gonna give you guys something that I said in a Facebook Live that I did a couple of years ago, and we're gonna talk about that when we come back. All right.
WLEO 26.7 online radio, the hottest in today's new music. Hits from the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. R&B, gospel, jazz, and indie music, all on one station.
All right, and welcome back to the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast again. I'm your boy, the Guru. You got E. Digger, Quinn, and K. the Great in the building with me, and we're talking about how to stay calm in your storm. And so, if you missed anything in the beginning, I asked the guys how they handled their first storms when they first became of age or became a man, and would start to deal with life. How did you handle certain things? And what I've heard from all three, and I'm for, because I did it too, is that I never talked about it. It was just one of those things. I didn't deal with it. Because I didn't want to touch it because it upset me, it hurt me. Now, my first question is that before I get to my question, this is something that I said in the Facebook Live about 3 years ago when my show was called The Common Sense Show, and I used to do my lives and on my cell phone on a tripod with a mount, and I used to do it every Friday. And one of the shows that I did, I said, "This is how you know when you're over something or somebody." Right, because for men we struggle, we struggle big time in that era, and we hold grudges and we stay mad at people. This is how you know this is how you know when you get over something. As the analogy that I made was, imagine yourself at the amusement park. Just for a second, go with me just for a second. You're at the amusement park and you're standing in line waiting for the ride. Okay, the person in front of you has gotten on the ride or the swing or whatever and took the plunge and did what they needed to do, right? But you are up there, you're up next, but we have all kinds of stuff that keeps us from growing, right? So we hold up and we hold grudges. We don't get past stuff. We talk about when we want to. We don't really deal with it. And we're standing in that line. Now, mind you, you got folks behind you. You're holding up the line because you don't want to move forward, or you don't want to. And so you will allow. I know E said something earlier when people will bring it up and it would upset you again. You know you're over it when somebody can bring up something in your past and it's like, whatever. You still on that? Let's say that turn the page. We on something else right now. That's how you know you're over something. But what I said in that live was, we're holding up the line. That's men, because there are other men who are waiting to take the same plunge you are.
Well, I'm gonna turn away in the line because I don't get on rides at the music.
Yo,
and some folks don't. How are you?
You can go in, yo.
You in that same boat that my stepson on. He don't get on the amusement park ride.
Don't get on rides, baby.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had to throw that.
I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I get on all rides. But
I mean, does it? I mean, does it fall in the same category as those people that have to learn from experience? Like, say, you're holding up the line, but you still got to go through. You would rather go through the storm.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you have to go through the storm, though.
Right.
So you have to take the plunge. You have to say, okay, here we go.
Right.
But that's what I was saying. At the time of going through it, I didn't want to talk about it.
Right.
Like right now, if people was to say to me right now, yeah, man, your son, man, he was a humdinger, and it wouldn't affect.
He was a humdinger.
Right, humdinger. That was the only word I could think of.
Yeah.
But
he had another word, but he just didn't want to say it.
Right.
A mother lover.
Right. Your son was. Woo. I can talk about that now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can talk, but at that time, don't say nothing.
Right.
I got it. And that's and I'm dealing with the experience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't the only one though.
Yeah.
There was a lot. There was a lot.
Yeah.
My father, death of my mother, stress.
Yeah.
Stress. I don't deal well with stress.
All right. Now I totally feel you, bro.
And
I'm bad with it too. I'm bad with stress.
I'm pretty much the most laid back person you will ever meet.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
The thing, anything that will shake that and rattle that, it's like I can't deal with it, but I deal with it in my way.
In a way, yeah.
In my own way,
and that way is getting behind that mic he's standing behind.
Right, and
doing his thing.
And
sometimes,
yeah.
There's plenty of times where I deal with stuff and I don't talk about it on the mic.
Yeah.
If I feel the need to talk about it, and that's the thing, if I feel the need to talk about it and let it out of an experience that I experienced, I'm gonna say something.
Right.
But in like if it's really, really like the death of a loved one, problems with my marriage, my children. You see what I'm saying? It depends on the situation. It really does. And that's when I'll talk about it.
Right.
And I think that's my,
that's your outlet. Yeah, that's your. And see, a lot of people are different. A lot of people have like they'll only talk if it comes to a point where they need to talk.
Right.
Some people bottle it in. Like I'm trying to teach my son not to bottle it in because he's the wrong type of person to bottle it in. I'm trying to teach him how to be vulnerable. And I talked about this on our podcast with Victoria, and she saw the difference in him, and I saw a huge difference. My wife saw a huge difference of him this year. He's learning as a teenager to be vulnerable.
And that's crazy. Not to cut you off. I was dealing with that with my son. It was I don't know if it was me, but he would like a bird. When he got around me, it was like
mom's the word. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I was telling him, talk, man. Talk.
Let it out.
You know, just let it out.
But see, I you know where that come from. You know where that come from, right? Like if I go ahead and let this cannon loose, Pop's gonna retaliate with a bigger cannon.
And I hear you. Yeah. And that's why and that's where I was. It was like just as soon as he started talking, and it was something that I didn't want to hear. God, what the hell?
No, you got the other cannon too, which probably their right hand.
But
I had to listen and then like go in. But that's and somebody told me that's why he don't want to talk to you, because you don't listen.
Right.
Listen. Be supportive first.
Right.
And I said, okay, so I got you.
Let me say this to Kev and E. Now, you said both of your sons, they wouldn't talk, they wouldn't do this, they wouldn't do that.
Right.
The old adage goes, and I want you to catch me hit me real good when I say this.
Mm-hmm.
The old adage is the apple don't fall too far from the tree.
Mm.
If you didn't talk, or you had a tough time of communicating and saying what you felt and all that good stuff, guess what? It rolls downhill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
not to cut you off and not to say you're wrong, but I did talk. And the thing is, I would look for people to talk to at times when I hit my lows, and I hit the lowest of the lows. I'm talking, I probably hit rock bottom twice in my life. Never thought of, well, I won't say that. I thought of suicide maybe once, so harming myself once. Hey, that was a thought. Yeah. It was a thought. Yeah. I never thought of anything to try to make it go through, because I thought, hell, I'm like a damn roach to myself. I can't get rid of myself. You're a gnat. You know what I mean? So, and I knew I was built for this life. You know, my family built me not like Ford tough, because Ford sucks, but they built me tough as hell. So I knew, that wasn't an outlet. So I had to find an outlet. I had to find a purpose. I had to find something in life to actually. But one of my things that I looked to, and once it could be, you know how you ever scratch a scab and you just barely scratch it and it bleeds.
Yeah, like you've been cut. Yeah,
that was me.
Yeah.
E could ask me like the quickest, hey, you cool? Yeah, I'm cool. But then all of it comes out. Like it would spew out. It would come out. I had to learn how to shut the hell up at times. Because then I would give too much information or too much of the situation that shouldn't be out.
Right.
You know, so like I said, there's different vibes and different things for everybody on how they deal with the situations.
Yeah. Okay.
My thing with my son though was kind of opposite of me, and I think, and when you say there's two parents involved, right?
Yeah.
I think what you're saying, you know, it doesn't fall too far from the tree. Probably got it from his mom, because his mom didn't really
say which tree. Didn't say which tree. I said too far from the tree.
Yeah, you know, she didn't really communicate, but when she did, boom. Oh, I'm talking, she dropping Hiroshima bombs. but she was also at times she was very, very good at communicating as well. Her and I were not too good at communicating, but when she would hold in problems, her problems would be held until the final countdown. When it was ready, when she was ready to blow, I'm talking.
We get that in every show. It's the final countdown. We got to incorporate it in everything.
All right, so with me, it was pretty much like I would keep stuff bottled in so much that, like, in this one relationship I had, like, I would just steady putting up. I'm doing everything I think I was supposed to. And then we got into it really bad one night, and like she slapped me, she punched me, and I was sitting up there looking, and I drew back, and I threw a straight, and when I threw that straight, it missed her, and I hit the wall and broke my hand in half. I wasn't trying to hit her. I just needed to get that.
Yeah, I just wanted
that. I just wanted to hit
that. It was a warning shot.
I just had to get that swing out because I ain't want to just take no licks and then not throw. But I was conscious enough to, like, she was standing against the wall, and I went like about a foot away from her. You know, threw my arm out far enough away from her where I hit the wall because my head was right beside her head, and I was just like, leave me the fuck alone. Leave me alone.
Yeah. I know I got a Marcus.
And I said it so calmly while my hand is throbbing in pain.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you see it like Buddy Love turning back into Sherman Clump, how it's swelling up. It's whoop, whoop, turning purple and everything.
Yeah.
And she looking, and then all the tension broke because now she worried. What's going on with your hand? What?
Yeah.
Stay away from me.
Yeah, go over there.
Right.
That's one way of dealing with stuff. So, man, this is such a deep subject for men because it's uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable.
Talking about this, it's uncomfortable for men because we don't really know what to say or how to formulate it in a sense. But see, here's the thing of it is that we have to at least try. Why? Because we have a whole generation of men that are coming up behind this. So my question to you, and you don't have to answer it right now, my question to you is this: have we gotten past it enough? Have we forgiven ourselves enough that if some young man tapped on your shoulder and said, hey, tell me your story, could you do it?
Yes.
That's the question. Yeah. I said, hold it. After the break. Man, y'all don't listen, man. Good Lord. Okay, so hold it.
I ain't never listened to the teacher nowhere and still pass with straight A's.
What he said.
That's the question.
Have a show idea? Want to host your own radio show? Are you a DJ looking for a place to showcase your skills? Contact us today at WLEO267radio@gmail.com. We've got a spot for you.
Got a spot for you. Y'all better listen.
You and you.
Hey.
Right. So
you got to make a poster dressed like Uncle Sam saying, "We want you."
We want you. That you should. That'll be dope.
When E does that, he looks like what's his name doing the Rick James.
Yeah, the Rick James from Dave Chappelle. Rick James.
Oh man, you
should.
Give it to
me, baby.
Y'all should have watched him. Y'all should have worked with E when we were doing brunching. That dude.
I was trust me, I was keyed in on those episodes. That was hilarious.
But all right, so the question is that I asked at the bottom of on the other side of the break was, if a young man was to tap on your shoulder right now and ask you, what's your story? Tell me, how did you make it out? Are you okay enough to tell that story?
Yes, and I will go first. I want to go first, and the reason why I'm excited to actually say this, I'm 36 years old, and I consider myself.
Don't tell your age. Don't tell your age.
Hey,
you hear me?
It is what it is. I feel old.
You make me feel old. Don't do that.
You feel super old.
Did you and Moses went to school together, right?
Yeah, I got his patient number too. Smart.
No, but I feel good saying this. I feel good saying this for one reason.
Part the Red Sea. Sorry.
I feel good saying this for one reason, and I use my life as an example to anyone before they go through the storm. All right, before, and I definitely do this with my son, my son Dion. I do it with my son Matthew too. They're old enough. They're 15 and 16. And they're getting up in the age where I started to I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to go to college for and things like that, or I didn't even know I didn't have a purpose in life, and that actually bothered me as a young kid. When I moved here to Texas, I didn't know a purpose. I didn't have that outlet or somebody to talk to. Now I talk to them and say, hey, I did this at your age, or I did this at your age, and this is something you should look out for. This is something you need. You need tools in your life to get through at this age. Now, the older they get, I give them more advice and I give them examples of my life. Now, one was, where my son, Dion, I felt he didn't ask, but I felt the need to tell him, hey, it's time you know the truth. And I want you to know the truth about me. And I told my daughter this too. Me and my daughter had a heart-to-heart, real one.
Them things hurt, boy.
Tears was shed. You thought you was crying? Oh man. So me and my daughter went to her mom's grave. We went to go pay our respects. This was 2 years ago. Together, we went to go visit her grave, just me and her. I had a heart-to-heart with her, and I gave her the truth, nothing but the truth. But she needed to know. And I also give her the backstories on how men are, boys are at her age, and things like that. And I told her what I did as a young man. And I do this, and I feel good about it because I don't want my kids to go through that struggle. Let alone if I'm going to give my story to some stranger who taps me on the shoulder, hey, what's your story? I'm going to give it to my kids. I'm going to feel comfortable about it because I know they're going to learn. They're going to listen. They listen and learn from me already by watching me. Right. So if they were to hear my story, they know the do's and the don'ts because my dad went through it. That's how they're going to look at it. If my dad went through it, I'm they're going to say, hey, well, I don't want to go through the same struggle my dad went through.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's all, getting through the storms, man. I wish that, men would acknowledge the fact that they're going through a storm. A lot of men won't even acknowledge the fact they're going through a storm. They're like, yeah, ain't nothing. I'm fine. I'm good. Ain't nothing.
Well, I'm dealing with a category 10. So.
I'm telling you, and just, we talking about 10.0 on the Richter, you know what I mean? Right. And then, it is crazy. But this is what we do. I want to first of all, okay, we're gonna go ahead and give everybody a final thought here in just a second. But I want to give everybody tell a shout out to everybody that's watching and listening. And I really appreciate you guys, and I hope you subscribe and I hope you download the app.
Thank you to you guys.
Live. And also, if you have not yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Knucklehead Chronicles YouTube channel, and Charm City Direct TV on YouTube as well, because that's where we go live at most of the time. All right, so I'm gonna give my host the final thought before we get out of here. So I'm gonna start with Quinn because Quinn hasn't said anything in a while. So Quinn, give us your final thoughts on overcoming, getting through the storm. How do we do it as men? What's your final thought?
Acknowledge that you're going through a storm. Find someone that you can honestly confide in, even if you got to find someone that isn't, in your circle, but you know what I'm saying, and have them conversations with somebody, even if it's your significant other, just have that conversation and don't hold it in, release it, and practice techniques, whether it's meditation, going fishing, or something. Do something to bring yourself some peace.
Absolutely. Final thought.
I would say the same thing. Get it out, but find someone that is not judgmental, who's going to listen, who's not going to interject, and allow you that time to whatever is bottled in to get it out. It is not healthy to hold it in. Sometimes you gotta release. You gotta talk about it. But then I always look at the person that you're confiding into, because not all people are good listeners. You got to find a good listener. And once you find that person and you feel comfortable, just bring it out.
Let it out. There you go. Kev, final thought.
Man. Couple of things. Well, one, really pretty much, I don't know, I forgot who sent me this video, right? And it leads into depression and things of that nature. Now, what I want people to do is, from when learning from a situation, when you learn how E said, get it out, cry it out. Someone sent me a video. I forgot Terry. I think Terry was tagged in it.
I didn't send it, but you sent it to me.
I think it was Victoria. Some people, like the gentleman said in the video, cry it out. If that is your outlet, cry it out. And when you find an outlet, don't change it. If you try to change your outlet on how you deal with things, you're gonna confuse yourself.
Right.
And the worst thing you want to be is a confused adult trying to still figure out, how do I let this go? How do I get rid of this vibe? How do I, you gotta when you learn how to function, stay on track.
Yeah.
So my thing to you is, if you cry it out, and if it happens, something happens again, cry it out. Don't change it.
Yeah.
Stay on that.
Yeah. I think what that video was saying, I remember watching it, and I think what he was saying was, people are always saying, do something. When you go, don't just stand there. Do something. If you'll do nothing but cry it out, do something. That's something. Do that.
Exactly. But very good video, by the way.
Yeah, it was a really good video, because the brother was indigenous and he had his braids, and he was
man,
brother, it was good. But my final thought is this: I want everybody that's listening, male, female, if you're a king or a queen, know that first. No matter what storm you're going through, know that you are a king or a queen, and you are an overcomer. What we have to do as men is that we are going to have to find a way, like Quinn, like Kev, E said, find somebody, talk to somebody, find you a mentor, jump on, these men. There's a bunch of men's groups on Facebook that are offering that advice and offering that outlet for you guys. If you are watching it, if you have talent behind the mic or behind the power of the pen, whatever you need, whatever it is, let that be your outlet to help other people. Sometimes telling your story, tell people where you came from.
Right.
And so some people say, I've heard Kevin and Quinn say it all the time. I came from the mud. To some people, that's a phrase.
Yeah.
So walking like you talking. You know what I'm saying? You come out the mud, okay, amen. We come out but who have you brought out of the mud with you? That's the thing, and I want men to understand, and I want men to get that. But that's my final thought, man. Look, we are in this thing together, not just COVID, we here together.
Mm-hmm.
Struggles, all that. We are not just faux dudes sitting on our computer screens and in our respective areas and just yakking because for the sake of yakking. Our thing is to help people, to help men, women, whoever. You know what I'm saying? And when I get inboxes and say, "Yo, I just watched the replay of your show. It was dope." Thank you. I just watched one of your lives, man. You touched me. Amen. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. That's why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
So please continue to watch. Subscribe, download, follow Charm City Direct TV, follow WLEO. My boys on Friday nights, Hip Hop Rejects, follow them. Okay, they're on WLEO, the Facebook page. They're on Haps TV. They're everywhere. Kev's coming up with a sports podcast in a little bit. So we are in the community. We doing stuff. We ain't just sitting here yakking, right? We're here to help people. All right. So
I mean, it's not the Knucklehead Chronicles for no
nothing,
reason.
You know what I'm saying?
We here. I've been saying this in the past podcast. I think I said it about 10 podcasts already. We here for a purpose. It's not. We're not just here just for show. We're here for the community. We're here for the community, the men, the women, if we could help, but God bless. We here for a purpose for the community. We here for the peeps.
For sure. All right, so we're going to get out of here. And until next week, man, y'all have a blessed one. If you guys want to reach out to us via email, hit me on Knucklehead Chronicles Podcast at gmail.com. You can hit E on just inbox E. I don't know his email.
You can hit me
it's
up.
Right behind him, actually.
Sean City Direct TV.
Sean City Direct 73 at gmail.com. It's many, but use that one.
Yeah, use that one. So, Quinn, how people get to Hip Hop Rejects?
Go to Facebook on all platforms. Just search the Hip Hop Rejects.
There you go.
And you get us.
That's it.
The Hip Hop Rejects at gmail.com. And all social media, the Hip Hop Rejects.
If y'all want some truth, listen to me, gentlemen. I mean, Facebook, social media. If you are listening, y'all want some truth on some hip hop, that's where you want to go.
Right.
Yeah. They be getting there. Him and Davin, they be doing their thing over there on Friday nights, man. I'm telling you. All right. So next week, though, we're going to have a sports podcast next week. We're going to have a sports episode. I know Kev just chomping at the bit to have one of those. So I'm going to have, I'm hoping to have Dylan Moran from On and Off the Field on here next Sunday.
Tell them to bring that fire, because I don't want to be Stephen A. Smith on
listen, if you don't know, Dylan and Durf over there on and Off the Field, go Google them. Because they done been on Strikeout Beer and they done been somewhere everywhere. Them boys are almost famous over there. But with next week, we're talking about sports. All things sports, I think, is coming up on some stuff and all that. If you are a WWE fan, this week is your holiday because it is SummerSlam this weekend. So
sound like Hulk Hogan over here.
All right, Macho Man Randy Savage Jr.
Oh man, please. All right, man. We're gonna get out of here. We'll see you guys next week. We love y'all. Peace. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. Listen, we really appreciate you guys. Make sure you come back and see us on next week where we have another topic about men issues. Let's help these men out. All right.